spot, call your ass money bags. MMA, talk, say, you got money on them, say. If you know, go win, say. MMA, no. MMA, talk, say. You got money on them, say. If you know, go win, say. MMA, no.
Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector, and as always, I am glad to be sharing this time and space with you here. So let's dive right into it. We got the MMA Dogs UFC on Fox 9 card, and for our guaranteed betting picks, we're going to go with 4 of them. So we're going to have 4 of them. First things first, never bet more than you can afford to lose. We always go in with the best of intentions, wanting to win as much as possible, but sometimes the ball doesn't fall down. And then the second thing is you always want to make sure that you check your local laws, local government, make sure that your everything's good to go there. So those 2 things, get them out of the way. And so let's dive right into it. 5-star picks are large to huge plays. Those are hitting at 100%. 4-star picks are medium to large plays. Those are hitting around 80%, a little higher than that. And then 3-star picks are hitting at a little over 60%. So that covers those numbers there. So the number one pick for UFC on Fox 9. We got 11 fights, and the number one fighter, he falls into the 4-star category, and his name is Edson Barboza. He's been practicing Muay Thai for 19 years now. 19 years of Muay Thai, so it's no wonder statistically he is one of the most dangerous strikers in the UFC, and he's been in the USA for a while now. So he's been training with a lot of good guys here. Ricardo Almeida, Renzo Gracie. He's up there in New Jersey, and so since he's been in the United States for a while now, he's had the ability to train not only with those guys I mentioned, but also with wrestlers. So that's very important when you have a guy who has such good stand-up as Edson Barboza. So I know his wrestling is going to be ready. Wrestling is going to be on point. Castillo's only way to win this fight is by wrestling Barboza. It's all there for Barboza. The preparation is there. With the loss he had to Varner, that really woke him up. That's what triggered him to move to New Jersey. And to boot, and this is just an extra cherry on top bonus, the guy has an incredible story. You can look it up if you're interested in it, but basically he was born very premature and given no opportunity to survive, and look how far he's made it now. With Castillo, to touch on him before we move on, he's got 6 wins in the UFC. Only 1 fighter is still signed with the UFC. Out of those 6 wins, only 1 fighter still signed, and even that was a split decision win over Anthony Njokuani, and even that was debatable. It was a split win. A lot of people thought Njokuani won, some people thought Castillo won, but I just haven't been impressed, and I predict Barboza will get the victory. Moving right along to the second pick, number 2 pick. This is a 3-star play, and that is Joe Lauzon. And with Joe Lauzon, he's got two losses in a row. Anytime a good fighter gets that many losses in a row, they show up ready to fight, ready to win. Not necessarily looking to get a bonus or this or that, trying to be cute and fancy and jump up and down and I'm the toughest guy in here, but rather just getting the victory. Lauzon, we know he can do it all. He'll go for crazy submissions. He's got a chin on him, and I expect big things from him tonight. Danzig, to touch on him a little bit, in his last 10 fights, he's 3-7. He just has not looked good. I really like his personality, some of the things that he says, but when it comes to betting, it doesn't really matter who you like or who you don't like. It's all about who's going to win, and Joe Lauzon's going to win that fight. Number 3, the number 3 fighter. The number 3 guaranteed betting pick is another 3-star play, and that's Scott Jorgensen. And we know a lot about Scott Jorgensen. We know he has faced some of the best fighters. Now, one of the interesting things that you may or may not know is when he was fighting at 135, he was eating junk food, eating whatever he wanted, and then drastically dropping those 8 to 10 pounds or whatever he needed to drop the day of the weigh-ins, or starting the night before. With his drop to 125, he's hired a nutritionist. He's hired some help along the way to make that drop much smoother, which is very important. So he's dropped down to the 125 the right way. He said he added running into his training, and he says he's never used running as a tool for conditioning and cardio before in a while, anyway. So that's very important. Conditioning is going to be up because he had to drop the weight. The diet's going to be up because he had to drop the weight. So he's doing it the right way. And with Makovsky, he's taking the fight on 10 days' notice. His second fight in 22 days. It's not looking good for him for his debut. So Jorgensen will win that fight. The number 4 pick and last guaranteed betting pick, where we guarantee we will have more winners than losers, or your money back for this service, and that is Joseph Benavidez. So Joseph Benavidez, he's already fought Johnson before, lost a split decision. With Benavidez, the big upside here, the big difference I think in this fight is going to be that Benavidez trains with Faber, he trains with Mendes, trains with Dillashaw, Holsworth, and he trains with all these guys who he has access to every single day, not just for a couple weeks, not just for a month, for every single day training. And of course, he's also got Ludwig, who's been sharpening him up there with the striking. Last 2 wins have come by TKO. And with Johnson, he's got Matt Hume. He's got Hume in his corner. He's smart. He's fast. So we can't necessarily count him out. So this is my least confident of these 4 picks. But I will say this: in the first matchup, we got to see how competitive any future fight might be, how competitively they match up. So, I just can't ignore what I've seen from these guys, and the Team Alpha males, especially Benavidez, came in shape. He looked great at the weigh-ins. And some of the things Johnson has been saying about, he doesn't care about the belt. He just cares about winning. Not particularly in those words, but basically saying, if I lose, it's okay. I go home to my family, and I'll come back and win another fight. So with Benavidez, I think he's been so focused on this goal. Some people think it has worked against him. I don't think that's the case, and I think he'll win tonight, Saturday night. So those are guaranteed betting picks. 4 stars, Edson Barboza. 3 stars, Joe Lauzon. 3 stars, Scott Jorgensen. 3 stars, Joseph Benavidez. So those are the 4. Now, these are food for thought, not guaranteed picks at all, but some that I have considered. The number 5 guy on this list that I've made here, and of course we'll be emailing this to you, is Urijah Faber. And, he's taking on McDonald. This is a really interesting matchup with McDonald coming up through the ranks. The way I see this fight playing out is basically like this. McDonald will come out in the first round and look to keep the fight upright, look to keep the fight a striking match. With Faber, I see him coming out and for a little while exchanging on the feet, because I think Faber has enough pride, has enough, whether it works in his favor or not, we'll find out, but has enough confidence in his striking that he'll keep it on the feet. But once McDonald lands that punch, and I think it'll be in the first round, we're going to find out the outcome of the fight. If he lands a punch and Faber takes him down and starts with the ground and pound, starts controlling on the ground, that's going to be Faber's fight to win there. And if McDonald lands that punch and it's lights out for Faber, well, there it goes. So that's why I couldn't guarantee it. I do lean towards the first outcome, which is Faber taking down McDonald, controlling him on the ground, if not submitting him. So I think the difference here will be Faber's wrestling and his submission. So hometown, proven, and with McDonald, there is going to definitely be a slight starstruck thing going on with him and Faber. He's only 22, Faber's in his 30s, 34. So he's been watching him fight for a while, and I don't feel comfortable picking McDonald at all here in this one. It's pretty much not necessarily a pick 'em. I think it's Faber's -1, minus. Let's see, what is he at right now? He's minus 135 around there, give or take. So I think that's justifiable, and I see Faber getting the decision. Number 6, this number 6 pick for me is Ryan LaFlare. Now, the big thing in this one, the big difference, that's what I like to focus on here, is going to be also the wrestling. The ability that Ryan LaFlare is going to have to take this fight to the ground and control McGee. McGee has had surgery on his knee. He hasn't looked the same to me since his surgery. He's 2-0, yes, at 170, but really, I mean, there were stylistic matchups, in his favor. Nobody who has the wrestling of LaFlare. LaFlare's been training down with the Black Zillions, back up to New York, also New Jersey area. So I really like LaFlare a lot. I was very impressed with what he did, going down to Brazil and beating Ponzinibbio. So I'm just very, very impressed with him. It will be a second fight in 35 days. Otherwise, I would have him up a little higher. So yeah, LaFlare, decision. The number 7 pick, Sam Stout. He's a talented fighter, but he's a win-lose type of fighter. If you look at the trend, it should be a win for him here. Win, loss, win, loss, win. He's coming off a loss, so it should be a win. The matchup is easy, but a lot of times the motivation is not there, and he actually admitted that the motivation wasn't necessarily there for this fight. And that can happen. So that's why he's not any higher than number 7. Is he on a decline? Is he overlooking McKenzie? There's just too many question marks. So I can't bump him up any higher than 7. Where McKenzie is returning to 155, and we got to worry about the McKenzie team. So his little chokes and things he does. Nothing too fancy. It's basically just one choke, but he's good at it. So we got to watch out for that. The other almost made the cuts here are Barboza inside the distance. That one I do like a lot. I just can't push it up that high to 3 stars, but I do like it. And then Lauzon inside the distance. I don't like that one as much, just because if he does get caught up in his ways, and it could turn out to be this 3-round fight of the night, which is fun and all, but then what happens to that particular lean? Nothing good. So that pretty much covers it right there. And then we'll move along to the 8th fight. The 8th fighter here. This is a 1-star pick. That's Chad Mendes. And the reason I have him at 1 star is because, once again, very similar to Sam Stout, is he overlooking his competition? Is he not focusing in on what he should be? Because he is going up against a dangerous guy, Nick Lentz. He at 145, he's a beast. And for Mendes to count him out would be a mistake, and I know Mendes, they're into investments and that kind of thing, and with properties and selling his house and moving and this and that. So there is a possibility there that he could be overlooking Lentz. Lentz's only way of winning would be a decision, but it is MMA, a lucky shot, a takedown, injury. You never know. And Mendes sitting at almost minus 1,000, minus 850, minus 900. If I'm not going to lay it, I'm not going to ask my clients or tell you guys, oh yeah, go ahead and lay that minus 900 on a guy who could be very well overlooking his opponent. But he is very talented. He's got knockout power. His striking has improved. Last 4 fight wins by knockout. Gave Guida his first knockout. 2-time All-American at Cal Poly. 31-1 record senior year. He's never been submitted. 15-1 record. So that's why he's minus 1,000. But in this for this particular card, we're not going to need to lay that kind of money on him, and it's not going to be necessary. And so I have zero money, zero interest vested in that fight. So I'm going to root for Lentz, and I'm going to root for Lentz because I love the story. I love what he did for his dad. And so, of course, the smart pick is Mendes. But since I have zero money on it, I can root for whoever I want in this case, and I'm going to be rooting for Lentz. Now, the number 9 fight, this is 0 stars, so it's way too many variables. I have zero interest in it, no money, 0 cents, nothing, not a zip zilch. And that's number 9, Pat Healy. We know what Pat Healy can do. Another wrestler, take him down. He has improved over the years at striking. And but with Green, he's just, Green is very unpredictable. We saw the fight he had with Volkman. Taken down. In the 3rd round, pulls off submission. Now, Volkman's submission defense is not good. I expect Pat Healy's to be better. I expect Pat Healy to win a 3-round decision. It would not surprise me at all, though, if Green goes in there and looks really good. It is his second fight in 38 days, which I don't like. But we saw what he looked like against in his last fight, and very dangerous fighter, in my opinion, a toss-up of a fight. So that's why nothing there. Roger Bowling, number 10. Once again, 0 stars, too many variables. He's got his back against the wall. He fought smarter than usual the first time around. Controversial finish, though. Leaves too many question marks for me. With Trujillo, he's a prospect, power, explosive. He needs more experience, though. And I expect Roger Bowling to fight even better than he did last time and be very play it safe and get the win there. But once again, that's why 0 stars. It wouldn't surprise me if Trujillo knocks him out. And then last but not least, we've got Ozkilic making his debut against Darren Uyenoyama. Now, Alp is making his debut, so we can't study the tape on him and see what he looks like against UFC caliber competition. But he is a Turkish national Greco-Roman wrestling champion. He's got knockout power. He's got mean ground and pound. He was the Ultimate Fighter 16 coach for Cruz, and he's 8-1. His only loss against Chico Camus at 135. So actually, that is one fight that I did watch on him. That it was competitive. I wasn't disappointed at all in his performance, but he is taking the fight on 3 weeks. So without just one fight that I was able to fully see, okay, what's this whole skill about? What's this whole game about? I can't. I'm going to pick him, but I can't count out Uyenoyama. That's why it's 0 stars. He's got the jiu-jitsu advantage, black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's got UFC experience, and he's better than people are giving him credit for. So the line's a little skewed there. So that sums it up, the 11 fights, and then the dog of the night. So, of course, bet at your own risk. This is just the dog of the night. And in this case, he falls under the 3-star pick, and that is Joseph Benavidez, sitting at, I have him here at plus 110, but you can find him even higher, plus 115, plus 120. And then the parlay of the night, bet at your own risk. Barboza and Lauzon. Barboza and Lauzon is the parlay of the night. So those odds, that'll give you plus 103. So that's nice. Hail Mary parlay of the night. Barboza, Lauzon, Jorgensen, Benavidez. That pays plus 478. Now, the new feature we're adding is the units. So MMA Dogs, UFC on Fox 9 bets. 1 unit equals 1% of your bankroll. All right? We're not going to do any of that. Man, people do it all kinds of different ways. Unit it's just 1 unit is 1% of the bankroll. Nice and simple. So the first bet, Edson Barboza at minus 285 plus Joe Lauzon at minus 200. 4 units. It's a 4-unit wager. And it's at plus 103. For the next one, Edson Barboza at minus 285 plus Scotty Jorgensen at minus 280. That's going to go for 2 units at minus 120. So if the first bet wins, which I expect it to, that'll be a plus 4.12 units. If the second bet wins with Scotty Jorgensen in it instead of Lauzon, that'll be for plus 1.67 units. Moving right along to the other bets, Joseph Benavidez at plus 110, a unit to win 1.10 units. Urijah Faber at minus 135, 0.5 units to win 0.37. Ryan LaFlare at 0.5 units to win 0.5 units. So that's even money, plus 100. Edson Barboza inside the distance, half a unit, 0.5 units. And that one translates to, if he wins, and I expect him to, 0.42 units. So you can see the units went down, and they're going down in size. Start off at 4, down to 2, then to 1, then to half a unit with Faber, half a unit with LaFlare, half a unit with Barboza. And then a quarter unit, we'll throw the Hail Mary of the night in there. So Barboza, Lauzon, Jorgensen, Benavidez, all of our 4 picks at 0.25 units for plus 478. When that one wins, that'll cash out at 1.20 units. So I am really excited for tonight. I hope you guys are too. Check out our website. You'll see all the new updates and all that good stuff. And so yeah, shoot us an email if you have any questions or anything like that. And yeah, we look forward to it. Let's wrap this thing up, and I wish you guys good luck.